Abdul Jalil, the Malaysian king's son, died at the age of 25. The royal family and others were deeply saddened. He was beloved by his subjects and viewed as the nation's hope. Many people became off guard when the prince died. What were the circumstances behind his terrible death? Watch the video to the end to find out. Let's get started. The Sultanate of Johor is one of Malaysia's wealthiest states. Kings originally carried the title of emperor. The dynasty has been in power for generations. In January 2024, the Johor royal family's head was elected as the King of Malaysia. Ibrahim is one of the country's richest persons, worth $5.7 billion. He has one daughter and 5 sons. He is known as the King of Souls among Malaysians. In July 1990, the royal family welcomed a new son. His name was Abdul Jalil, which means servant of the Almighty in Arabic. His parents had high expectations for him and loved him deeply. The parents believed their son would become a state pillar for the greater good of the people and the kingdom. Children of wealthy and rich parents do not always meet their expectations. High status can lead to spendthrift behavior. Prince Abdul Jalil showed that a king's son does not have to be arrogant and egoistic. Throughout his short life, he dedicated himself to assisting and developing others. His subjects held him in high regard and saw him as an ideal ruler. Abdul Jalil, who graduated from secondary and high school in Johor, developed an interest in zoology. He spent a year working as a caretaker in the Singapore Zoo's reptile department. The prince's interest in animals led him to look for further education at the Zoological Society of London. Following 2 years of studies in Great Britain, the prince graduated with honors and returned to his motherland. Abdul Jalil, the Sultan's son, declined a post in the state administration to pursue his passion. He studied zoology at the Orangutan Rehabilitation Center in Kabali Sepilok Forest Reserve. As he grew, the prince recognized the importance of protecting both animals and people. Abdul Jalil funded the Malaysian Red Crescent Society and many medical causes. His royal pedigree enabled him to raise significant funds and distribute them to others in need. When the prince turned 21, he surprised his relatives by making significant changes in his life. Abdul Jalil decided to become a police officer for the protection of others. After a year of training at the Royal Malaysian Police Training Center, the man was promoted to inspector and joined the police department. The prince was so pleased with his job as a police officer that he surprised his colleagues a few months later. Abdul Jalil trained in the Special Actions Unit, an elite unit of Malaysian Special Forces. At the age of 23, he passed the stringent tests and joined the anti-terrorist group. He was the only member of Malaysia's royal family to join the police special forces. Of course, the prince's life was not solely dedicated to service. The prince's interest for sailing started at the age of 20. He did not recognize luxurious vessels and preferred to operate tiny sailboats independently. His purpose was to encourage young people to sail. He developed 2 mass programs that taught over 5,000 non-rich countrymen to sail and participate. At the age of 23, Abdul Jalil launched Liga Layar Malaysia, a series of sailing regattas with cash prizes. The regattas increased interest in sailing and showcased talented athletes. They won significant international races and trained young sailors themselves. A naturalist, a world-class athlete, and a tough special forces officer. The subjects referred to the smiling prince as the King of Souls. A bright future was forecast for him. Unfortunately, a stage 4 liver cancer diagnosis crushed all of his efforts and dreams. In late 2014, during the early stages of the disease, he was nearly symptom-free. But then Abdul Jalil began to lose weight, swell, and feel pain. Despite this, he continued to work every day for the Malaysian Red Crescent Society. At the time, he served as the charity's vice president. The devastating diagnosis came at the same time as Malaysia experienced severe flooding. Heavy monsoon rains forced rivers to overflow, flooding tens of thousands of residences. Approximately 200,000 people have been displaced from the disaster region, requiring aid. Despite his grave illness, Abdul Jalil continued to work till his death. The Red Crescent helped decrease casualties and save as many lives as possible. The huge effort eventually harmed the prince's health. Sultan Ibrahim almost forced his son to go to the hospital. The prince received the best medical care in Malaysia and China, but time was running out. A liver transplant was the last chance for assistance. The operation was successfully completed at Sun Yat-sen University, Guangzhou, China. Unfortunately, Abdul Jalil received just a brief reprieve. For the last 6 months of his life, the prince knew he was terminal and got only supportive care. Incredibly, even in the hospital, he maintained his composure and even pranked the staff. A video of the prince jokingly attempting to avoid procedures and laughing with a nurse went viral. Viewers were impressed by the brilliant man's spirit rather than amused. In early December 2015, Abdul Jalil, 25, was gone. Oncology killed the prince, and Malaysia went into mourning. Thousands gathered at the royal palace to wish the prince farewell. Abdul Jalil's coffin was adorned with a police cap and sword, representing his dedication to protecting the common people. After prayers, the prince was interred at the Mahmudiyah Royal Mausoleum, and his father, Sultan Ibrahim, promised to help all Malaysians with cancer. The monarch has honored his word. The best cancer center in Southeast Asia was built in the state capital, Johor Bahru. It was named Tunku Laksamana Johor in honor of the prince. The royal family jokingly referred him, Abdul Jalil, as Laksamana, which translates to admiral in Malay. The center's motto is, "Fight like Jalil." Each year, this state-of-the-art clinic treats over 7,000 Malaysians with cancer. For some, doctors are saving lives. For others, they alleviate agony. Abdul Jalil inspired his father to create a cancer center, making all of this possible. Despite his death, the prince continues to help others, which holds symbolic meaning. Many aristocratic descendants indulged in hedonism, drink, and unnecessary luxuries. They lived empty lives, leaving no lovely memories or constructive legacy. Despite adversity, individuals like Prince Abdul Jalil's story shines through. Despite his brief life, he had a significant impact on his students. That is why he would be remembered as Malaysia's King of Souls. What are your thoughts on this terrible story? Please share in the comments. Please subscribe to our channel and like our videos if you appreciated them. See you shortly.